Hello guys, let's see today some of the biggest open world games coming out in 2025 and beyond. I assure you that you don't know not even half of these games. So watch it with me, games for all consoles here, so I'm sure you'll like it. Click on the like and subscribe for more content. Thank you so much and let's go.
Into a remarkable young lass with much grace, wisdom, and kindness. Take the easy, even art of gold. Leave the spirit to overcome adversities aplenty. Darling, sweeten.
The Witcher 4 is the sequel of the acclaimed The Witcher 3, but now, different of the previous games, the protagonist won't be Geralt anymore, but Ciri, one of the most important characters of the third game. It's being developed by the studio CD Projekt Red, the same studio of Cyberpunk and The Witcher, and is probably coming out in 2027, with luck 2026, to Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows. The new game will be totally made in Unreal Engine 5. That's one of the best engines of the moment, with impressive graphics and insane possibilities. So if you like huge and massive RPG games, this is surely one of these.
You cannot change anything!
Chernobylite 2 Exclusion Zone is a post-apocalyptic action RPG game, mixing free exploration of huge and extremely realistic open world with a hardcore combat style, insane crafting system, team and base management with non-linear storytelling. The game is announced to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Windows. The release date of the final version is not confirmed yet, but the early access version of the game is coming out on March 6, 2025, but only on PC. Consoles version are confirmed, but with no release date yet.
Way.
On me. Bloody hell.
Dying Light the Beast is a new action-adventure with horror game. If you know the series, you know what to expect, but it's a game set in a first-person style. You're in a place that's been struck by a zombie infestation. You must survive and fight them with all you've got, all types of weapons, vehicles, and more. The gameplay is really nice, with a fast movement style and insane parkour skills. The game is being developed by the studio Techland, and it's coming out in some moment in 2025 to PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One and Series XS, and Windows, and is a game that the fans of the first game should keep an eye out for.
Contact!
If you push too much, you might unleash the beast.
Come on, I'll help you get your bearings. This is the ship's armory. Here you can check your weapons and put them through their paces. These rooms over here belong to other members of the crew. They're pretty much the same as yours. And the shower's down at the end.
Death Stranding 2 is the sequel of the acclaimed original game. Again, it's being developed by Kojima Productions, and it's planned to be released in 2025 to PlayStation 5. In the future, it's probably coming out to Windows and maybe Xbox. Death Stranding is a unique and original game. The gameplay mixes walking simulator with building features, combat, and an insane story and storytelling. And the sequel will continue the story of Sam, the protagonist of the game, and now the players will continue to explore and connect the people, but also see the aftermath of the first game.
ArcheAge Magellan's here to back you up. As always, you'll be the one leading the way to expand the network. That's right. These days I'm fragile in name only. You brought America together, helped it be reborn as the UCA. But I'm afraid Death Stranding is far from over. Humanity is still in danger, still on the brink of extinction. Don't act like you don't see it. A lot of things changed after you went off on your own, especially within the UCA.
Off your ass!
Do the same for that one. Hey! Hey, you! Get out of here!
Calm down. I'm going.
Good choice.
You have a good day, too.
Gothic Remake. The legend is back. Return to the Valley of the Mines in this faithful remake of the genre-defining classic RPG. Explore a handcrafted, organic open world that reacts dynamically to your actions in a gritty, unrestricted experience like no other. The game the remake of a classic RPG game. It's being developed by the studio Alchemia Interactive, and it's coming out probably in 2025 to Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows. The original game was released over 20 years ago, in 2001, and it's a very good and fun RPG game. So if you like big and massive RPG games, that's a good one.
There's the life. You had your share, mate. Get lost. Get lost. Nobody Time to put that booty to good use. Come on, fry him! Yeah!
I really thought you could get away with this, eh?
Wait.
The path that might have been. What if my mother had obeyed her orders and given birth to a ghost before his betrayal? A world where my father lives. House Atreides surviving the Battle of Arrakeen. Sardaukar deployed to Fremen. Exterminated. No, Muad'Dib.
Dune Awakening is a new upcoming MMORPG. Yeah, that's an online game. It's set in the universe of Dune, obviously, and it promises to be a huge adventure for the fans, and even for those who don't know the series. The game is being developed by the studio Funcom, and it finally got a release date already, and it is May 20th, 2025, and it's coming out to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and Windows. Rise from survival to greatness and challenge the power of an Imperium in Dune Awakening, an insane online experience to have with your friends.
Survive it.
The Elden Scrolls VI is finally the new adventure after Skyrim. But wait, this is still a long time to be released. It was announced with Starfield. So this is the game Bethesda is focused now. But when it's coming out, we don't know. But will probably be launched on Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows. The series is acclaimed for being an insane and massive RPG series with a lot of content and possibilities. So this is one of the most anticipated games ever.
Lucia, do you know why you're here?
Bad luck, I guess.
GTA VI is the new adventure of one of the biggest video game series ever. The game will once again be set in Vice City, a famous city of the series, but now it'll be set in modern days, even with a whole new part. I'd even say that Vice City we know will be just a small part of the whole game's map. Just like GTA V, here we'll play with more than one protagonist. Now, it'll be Jason and Lucia, and it promises to be one of the greatest games ever. The game is being developed by Rockstar Games, and it's coming out in 2025. Unless they postpone it, let's hope not, and it'll be launched on Xbox Series XS and PlayStation 5.
Well, look who's back. The only way we're gonna get through this is by sticking together, being a team. Trust?
Trust.
Chrono Odyssey is a new, insane, huge MMORPG. It's a game developed in Unreal Engine 5, a game with impressive graphics and visuals. The game is being developed by the studio Chrono Studio and got no release date yet, but is probably coming out in 2025 or 2026 to Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows. A vast and intricately designed, seamless open world, dynamic action-based combat mechanics based on time manipulation and extensive customization. These are some of the features of this insane game. So for the fans of online RPG games with a massive world to explore, this is a game for you.
Than you, I'm afraid. So, where's the captain? Everyone died.
Oh, this is insane. What a trip.
Not a trip. It's reality. Your new reality.
Are we brothers or something?
We have the same DNA, but
The Alters is an extremely curious game. It's being developed by the studio 11-Bit Studios and is coming out in some moment of 2025 to Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and Windows. This game really got my attention. It's a sort of survival game. You'll be alone in a planet and will somehow create different versions of yourself to help you build and take care of the base. Yes, it sounds crazy. That's why it looks so fun. Despite it all, it will also be a game about exploration, discovering things and places in the universe to get resources, and the building mechanic even reminded me of Fallout Shelter. That was really good.
calm down. You're not the original Jan, but that doesn't mean you can't be important.
Like you look like me, but also like me. What the fuck did you drug me with, man? No, not hallucinating.
Because I was going to make a sandwich. Let's do it. What do I think about Hero? Their disproportionately high cheekbones and comically massive weapons.
Wanker.
Roughing up bandits, because they like to rough up bandits, don't they? So the true hero's me, someone who's breaking new ground with fruit, with veg, on the agricultural side of things.
Just look at them.
Not wafting around.
Fable is the returning of a great Xbox RPG series. The game is being developed by the studio Playground Games, the same studio of Forza Horizon. So it's a different style of game of what they usually do, but it looks fun. Let's just hope it is. The game was coming out in 2025, but was postponed to 2026. It's coming out to Xbox Series XS and Windows, but I wouldn't say that a PlayStation 5 version is impossible. But it'll be available day one on Xbox Game Pass. For the fans of the series, this one will be set in the same style, a kind of open world game, with a lot of choices and possibilities of gameplay and story.
That's what defines you, isn't it? Really, stays with you. I knew this one hero. I took her in when she had nowhere else to go. Welcome to the most exclusive club. It's her gift. But you know what it's like when you're young and you have a point to prove.
Tear it open.
Last Sentinel is a new game story focused, set in an open world. Believe it or not, but this game is being produced by an old Rockstar Games director. His new studio is Lightspeed, and the game got no release date yet, but is probably coming out to the main platforms, since it wasn't announced too. The game is set decades from now in a reconstructed Tokyo. You play as Hiromi Shota in Last Sentinel, a narrative-focused, open-world action game. That's the briefing of the game. Beyond that, we don't know much more, but it's a game that sounds really interesting. Just hope to see a gameplay trailer soon.
Follow me.
人活进了戏里，还是戏，本就因人而在。
Project the Perceiver is an insane upcoming action RPG game. And like most of the RPGs nowadays, we see some inspirations in Souls-like games, since the combat to the boss fights. The game is being developed by the studio Paper Games, a Chinese studio, and is coming out in 2025 or 2026 to PlayStation 5 and Windows. The game will be set in a beautiful and immense open world with a lot of quests, enemies, and general content. The visual of this game is something mind-blowing with an impressive combat style and movements. So like most of China's game lately, you should keep an eye out for it.
且让你们体会。 如何相提并论？
一将功成万骨枯，总有。
People come north to disappear.
But you... And now...
Ghost of Yotei is the next game of the studio Sucker Punch Productions, the studio responsible for Ghost of Tsushima. And the new game is going to be the sequel, set over 300 years after the first game, and obviously, all the characters will be different, so I'm curious to see the game. It's coming out in some moment of 2025, with no release date yet, but this year, and will be a PlayStation 5 exclusive, but in some moment will be released on Windows 2, I'm sure. The first game was an extremely fun action-adventure game, with some RPG mechanics, and this one will be set in the same style.
Still think you're the hunter?
Must be here somewhere. This way! Lunka! Don't hurt her! You gave us quite the chase.
The Blood of the Dawnwalker is a new open RPG from the same director of the beloved The Witcher 3. The game is being developed by the studio Rebel Wolves and is coming out to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, and Microsoft Windows. We still don't know the release date, but I'd say 2026 or 2027. And the interesting thing about the game is that just like The Witcher, the game will be set in a world that reacts to your decisions. All you choose will change something in the story, and the world will be dark and immersive, filled with creatures such as vampires.
The continent of Pywell. A land soaked in blood by the battles of those who seek peace. Begins the saga of the Greybeards.
There are beings who brought chaos to Providence. We seek to correct this.
I have my own mission.
Crimson Desert is an insane, upcoming open-world RPG. The game is being developed by the studio Pearl Abyss, and it's coming out still in 2025, but with no specific date yet, but it's coming out to Xbox Series X and Series S, PlayStation 5, and PC. This is one of those games that are even hard to believe that they're really good as they look. The graphics are insane. The world seems huge and massive, and is a game with a lot of features like glide, parkour, a nice combat style, dragon ride, and much more. And if it's as good as it looks, it'll be one of the best games of this year.
What I can tell you now is that this mission will restore the disrupted Providence.
For those who have died, for those who have survived, and for... This is our mission.
We shared land and history. But their lies slaughtered our families. No longer am I frozen in terror, grief, and rage. Terror all I feel.
Hell Is Us is a new action-adventure game with some RPG mechanics. The game will be set in a semi-open world, in a dark and mysterious universe. The game is being developed by the studio Rogue Factor, and it got a release date already, and it is September 4th, 2025, and it'll be available on Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows. In an isolated country ravaged by infighting, discover the secrets of your past and deal with the repercussions of a mysterious calamity. A game with beautiful graphics and an immersive gameplay. So just make sure you remember this one.
They took him away. Mother said I couldn't play outside anymore. Everyone had fled. Mother always said monsters didn't exist. I thought they lived under my bed. We were both wrong. They live inside our heads.
Ever known in my life. Our land. My family. Burns in the name of unification.
Assassin's Creed Shadows is the next adventure in the world of Assassin's Creed. The game, as always, is being developed by Ubisoft and is coming out to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and Series S, and Microsoft Windows in March 20th, 2025. The game, for the first time in a big Assassin's Creed game, will be set in Japan. You'll be able to play with two different characters, Neo and Yasuke, each one of them with their own style and mechanics. This will be an RPG Assassin's Creed, like Valhalla, Odyssey, and some others, set in a huge map with a lot of things to do.
You are still a frog in a well. Greed. Power.
Emergency at Windscale Atom Plant. Now the worst seems to be over. Firing target.
Atomfall is a survival FPS game set in a post-apocalyptic universe. The game is being developed by the studio Rebellion Developments, the same studio of Sniper Elite, and the game is coming out in March 27, 2025 to PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and Windows. The game looks really fun, especially for the ones that love single-player games about survival. The first time I saw it, I must say that it got my attention, but to be honest, I'm not a big fan of the studio, but I'll keep an open mind about this one. It looks nice in the trailer, and it's coming out day 1 on Xbox Game Pass. Borderlands 4 is the next adventure of the beloved universe of Borderlands. The game is being developed by the studio Gearbox Software. This will be released on Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, PlayStation 5, and Microsoft Windows. The game got a release date already. That is September 23rd, 2025. You probably know the series already, but if you don't, it's a looter-shooter series set in a first-person camera with a unique and charismatic graphic style, and it's always been a success since the first game of the series.
From the studio that brought you Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, Part 2. And Fallout 3, Part 2. Comes a completely original Part 2. And like all good sequels,
The Outer Worlds 2 is the sequel to the first game, what's obvious. And it's being developed by the studio Obsidian Entertainment that just released Avowed, but the game is coming out still in 2025 it seems, to Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and Windows. The game is an open-world action RPG set in an FPS style. The first game is really fun. It's not a masterpiece, but it's fun. But they promise that now it's going to be even greater in all aspects, so I'm really curious to see how it's really going to be. But for now we need to wait, because there's no release date yet.
More action. More weapons. And more. Welcome back to the future. Try not to break it again.
I'm not interested in hiring any more idiots. I'm looking for people of tact and vision and perspicacity.
The Outer Worlds 2.
Stars. Cute. I have seen the miracles you so claim into the mist.
I pray for their grace, but all that came were inferior shades. Why do we have to bear the consequences of such power?
Time.
Ballad of Antara is an upcoming action RPG. The game is set in a sort of open world with a fast and fluid combat style. Through the game, the player will be able to play with multiple characters, even changing the one you're playing in real time, but just if they are with you in the battle. The game is being developed by the studio Tipsworks Studio and is coming out in some moment of 2025 to PlayStation 5 and Windows. The game features an interesting feature, a sort of change of dimension, kind of similar to the last Lords of the Fallen, and it looks really good here. And the boss fights looks really sick. So I'm really curious about this one.
Wayward emissaries, grant us the
This desolate land needs a sprinkle of madness.
Heavens, we did not betray this world.
ArcheAge Chronicles is a new MMORPG that looks mind-blowing. Here, we'll explore Auroria, a vast and vibrant world brimming with rich lore and thrilling action. The game delivers an immersive experience that will capture players' hearts, whether they are newcomers to the setting or seasoned adventurers. The game got an insane visual style with a great combat system. Some people are even considering it a Souls-like game. So imagine fighting insane bosses and enemies with your friends, getting better items and equipment, building your characters the way you want, and much more. So it looks really promising.
Pokémon Legends ZA is a new title in the Pokémon series. The story takes place in Lumiose City, the largest city in the Kalos region. These days, Lumiose is undergoing a high-tech urban redevelopment plan to turn it into a city that people and Pokémon truly share. After you arrive in Lumiose City to see the sights, you'll meet 3 Pokémon, one of which will become your first partner: Chikorita, Tepig, and Totodile.
Pokémon Legends ZA is a new adventure in the beloved universe of Pokémon. We've not seen so much about the game, but we know that it's going to be one of the biggest game of the series. It's being developed by the studio Game Freak, Nintendo, and it's coming out in 2025 to Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 when it's released. If you know Pokémon, you know what to expect. It's a fun JRPG with unique features, and the most fun thing is always finding and collecting all Pokémons, evolve them, and learn all the mechanics of the game.
Here are some of the colorful characters you'll encounter. When you arrive in Lumiose, you'll meet a new friend and ally, either Urbane or Tawny. You'll also meet his partner, Floette. Lumiose's redevelopment is being managed by Quasartico Inc. You'll become acquainted with the company's CEO Jet and her secretary Vinny. To help people and Pokémon coexist, the city has set up wild zones. These areas, located throughout Lumiose, give wild Pokémon habitats where they can thrive.
Soaked in blood.
That's the video, guys. So much great games, right? So really hope you enjoyed. Click on the like and subscribe for more. Thank you so much, and I see you in the next video.